Hey guys, and welcome back to my world. Now, if you've played the new Metal Gear Solid Phantom, or sorry, Metal Gear Phantom Pain, you'll know that you get something called the Extraction Backpack. Now, that's basically what I have over here. So if I walk up to this mob, okay, I'm going to throw it at him. He will then get a little balloon. It'll start floating up and down, and then he'll be extracted out into space. Whee! This is absolutely so much fun. Okay, so I kind of run up to them. I can kind of hit them and then extract them. Oh, see, he wasn't too close enough. Okay, just extract him quickly. There we go. Extract him. There we go. Ties up the balloon. He bobs up and down a bit, and then he goes, pew, shoots off into space. Okay. Oh man, this is so much fun. Okay, I am in creative. This is not exactly a fully formed mechanic. The mechanic is really just being able to actually have the mobs float away. So I'm going to drop the backpack there. Okay, it'll give it a balloon, and then it'll pop up and down, and then pew off into the sky. Let's change my viewpoint here real quick. As I said, this is not a full mechanic. I mean, it does need to have sneak added to it. It needs to, you need to be able to actually hit the mobs, and then have that happen to them. It also only works with mobs that can take armor at the moment. Okay, so please, somebody go out there and make it so that we can do animals as well. That will be cool. At the moment, if you do it with an animal, it doesn't get the little balloon, but it does float up and down, and then shoots off into space. I'll be honest, I have no idea where they go. In theory, what should happen is they should then be teleported to my base. Okay, so let's just very quickly look at how this is made. Now, please excuse, I am learning how this all works. So this is probably terribly inefficient. And it can probably be compacted 100 times more, but I'm learning. Okay, so a couple of things here. First off, I am giving the player a Minecraft skull that is this little backpack, but I'm summoning it in with a pre-existing tag called backpack. Okay, very important. Then next, I'm only using one objective for all of this, which is a timer, and it's a dummy. Okay, then I'm creating a fake player called Float, and I'm adding one to their timer continuously. Okay. Now this is important. I'm going to jump to the other side because when we get to the other bits, you need to know what happens in the end. Now, I didn't actually think about a delivery method until the end. So basically, this is my delivery method. First off, I am constantly checking. Okay, I'm going to be I'm going to be adding at any item. I'm going to be adding one to the timer if that item is on the ground, and that item actually has a backpack tag in it. So the moment I throw this down, you'll see that it'll start counting up and it'll disappear. Okay, so the moment that item is on the ground, it'll start counting down. Okay, which is very important. The next thing I'm going to do is when I'm going to be executing at that item that has a score of minimum 20, I'm going to be executing a scoreboard tag, and I'm going to be tagging any entity that's not a player in a 2-block radius. I'm going to be adding float to their tags. Okay, now if you're doing this in PvP, there's probably other ways you can do this, but and then you can do that with a player as well, but I'm not worried about that just now. Go away and make this your own. Go away and change this. Okay, so I'm adding it to float. And then I'm just killing that item that has a score of 23. Okay, so I'm dropping the item. When that item reaches, first of all, it checks to see if that item is a backpack. If it is a backpack, after 20 ticks or 20 ticks, 1 second, it will then set any entity that's close to it. It'll add a float tag to them. Okay, and then it'll go and kill itself. So we'll go back to more examples in the end. Okay, now we can go back to this. So we've got a timer running. What it does, it checks to see when that timer reaches 14. When that timer reaches 14, you'll see that we have a conditional tag here that will add at any entity that has a float tag. It will add levitation for 2 seconds, strength 1, and it'll hide the particle. So it'll add the levitation. So it's going to float up. Okay, so it's going to start floating up. Next thing is unconditional. So it is still taking the impulse from this repeater over here. It's still taking this impulse. It tests to see if that float timer is at 30. Okay, when it reaches 30, it's going to then remove that levitation effect from the entity that's float, which is then causing that bopping up and down effect. Okay, so this is going to make it go up and down, 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 up and down. Okay, right, now this is conditional. Okay, you'll see there's a whole bunch of conditional things now. So first of all, it then removes that. The next thing it does, it actually sets the float timer back to 0. All right, so that it starts again, just so that it run again. When it reaches 13, it'll float. When it reaches 30, it'll drop. Reaches 13, float. Reaches 13, drop. So it'll just create that up and down effect. Okay. Then the next thing it does, okay, it's going to replace item at entities that has the float tag on it. Is going to replace the head armor slot with sponge. Now, sponge is this balloon over here. So if I put the sponge, let me just put it down and put it on top of that. Okay, so the sponge is this little custom balloon texture that I have over here. Okay, so that is the sponge. So it's going to put it in the head slot of the entity. Now, yes, it doesn't work on animals because animals can't have a thingy. Right, then the last conditional for that is going to add 1 to the timer of the float to the entity called float. Okay, so it's going to add 1 to the timer. So if I just quickly show you over here, if I drop it on the sheep over here, you'll see that very, very slowly that sheep will then count up to 6. Okay. When it reaches 6, right, so that, no, I'll show you over here. Okay, so it is a slower timer that'll just add 1 after every 30 points. Okay. Next, it is then going to set any entity that's got a tag float that has a timer of at least 6. It is then going to set their levitation effect for 10 seconds to 25. Okay, which is going to make them shoot up into the air. Then there's another conditional tag, which then just removes the float tag from them, just so that they don't get affected by any of the other tags over there. You'll see that entity just fell and died. Okay, right, and that is it. Then these are just the ones that detect the backpack, and that is it. It's a very, very relatively straightforward and simple thing. I do need. There's a lot of work that is still needed on it. Is there any more skeletons? Let me just see. Zombies. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on it, especially to actually use it with other entities. Now, please, guys, go out, see if you can improve this. This map and this resource pack is up for download, so you guys can just use this resource and, yeah, make it better. Bye-bye. Cool, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, I will check you all later.